Greetings and good day to our respectable lecturer Siti Maisara binti Amdan and all those who might be watching. On this beautiful day, we will be presenting our DOSH Fire Skills assignment. I would like to introduce our hardworking team members who prepared for this explanatory assignment. They are Kishvan Raj, Alif Naufal, Ali Jain, Sharvish Warren, Jaya Varman, and myself, Damendra Vinobin. The topic of our presentation today will be about the horrific fire that happened in Darul Quran Ittifaqiyah Tahfiz School. The introduction to our assignment will be presented by Alif Naufal.
Now, I will be talking about the introduction. So, the fire strategy at the Tahfiz Darul Quran Istifaqiyah Center, which claimed the life of 23 residents, including 2 teachers. This strategy were jointly charged with murdering and causing the death of the 23 residents at the Tahfiz Center. This strategy happened around 4:15 a.m. and 6:45 a.m. on September 14, 2017. Now, Dharmendra will explain more what is fire safety.
Hello, my name is Damendra Vinobin and I will be explaining what is fire safety. Fire safety refers to the planning and setup designed aimed at reducing the risk of fire or impeding the spread of fire when it does break out. Fire safety encompasses the use of fire-resistant building materials, preventative actions, safe work practices, fire safety training, flame-resistant protective clothing, and more. Fire safety also includes several things to do, which is ensuring adherence to local building codes, ensuring the provisions of fire codes, exits, stairs, markings, and signages are followed. Compliance with electrical safety codes and fire risk assessments when a building equipment or process is modified. Moreover, a fire safety is practiced to prevent or reduce the destruction of fire. Suppose there is an emergency. According to the Radar Institute and the Fire and Rescue Department Kuala Lumpur, that every year 120 to 150 people perish in fire and 30 to 60,000 fire incidents incidents occur throughout the country. The next slide will be presented by Ellie Jane.
Hi, I'm Ellie. I'm going to present the sources of fire hazards in the fire incident. Police and firefighters were investigating the cause of the fire. Initially, the firefighters thought it could be due to a short circuit, but after a full investigation and a CCTV outside of the house, multiple perpetrators were found who had entered the area about 3:10 a.m. Via other CCTV footage taken from 5 nearest gas stations, the invasive suspects had previously seen the purchasing of petrol at one of the stations at 1:30 a.m. Approximately 7 suspects were found by the police to be involved and most of them were arrested on approximately 7 suspects were found by the police to be involved and most of them were arrested on 16 September and locked up at the Jinjiang police station. The senior fire officer told the High Court that there are 2 gas tanks found at the scene. The valves of the 2 gas tanks was opened and the punctured part of the valves were pointed towards the door of the hostel. It attributes a high level of heat at the door before the fire spread inside the hostel. Edwin Galanteruki also stated that their fire and rescue team also checked the weight of the tank and found it to be light. It means that there was no more gas left. That's all for me. Thank you.
Explain the best ways to prevent fire incident that happen. What is fire prevention? Fire prevention involves proactive measures to reduce fire hazards so that the fire does not have a chance to ignite. Fire prevention requires inspection, testing, and maintenance of systems to ensure that they operate properly and are effective during fire. Examples of fire hazards include overloaded electrical sockets, filthy fireplaces, unattended candles, inappropriately stored flammable materials, and poorly maintained heat or electrical system. The best ways to prevent fire incidents that happen based on the sources are regular servicing and testing should be arranged with a specialist to keep the device in working order, conduct regular risk assessment and identify vulnerable areas for safety enhancement, have more areas with emergency exits, and carry out fire routine drills. Number one, regular servicing and testing should be arranged with the specialist to keep the devices in working order. When maintenance that is regularly performed on a piece of equipment to lessen the likelihood of it failing. Regular maintenance help predicts when failure is likely to occur, allowing you to find solutions to the problems before they happen. Number two, conduct regular risk assessment and identify vulnerable areas for safety enhancement. Working from the information obtained during risk identification, safety professionals may then begin to assess the risk level of such as hazards and prioritize measures based on existing controls among other criteria. Number three, have more areas with emergency exits. Exit escape routes are critical because they provide a simple, secure way to evacuate a building in the event of crisis or disaster. First responders such as fire or policemen can also use emergency exits to reach a building during a disaster or crisis. Carry out routines. Number four, carry out routine fire drills. A fire drill is a way of performing and checking techniques for evacuation of a building for a fire or other emergency situation. This warning system usually a fire alarm or smoke detector sounds and the building is evacuated as if a real fire had occurred. The next slide will be presented by Jaya.
Hello, my name is Jaya. I'll be talking about fire precaution. Fire precautions are the measures taken and the fire and features provided in a building that are designed to minimize the risk of occupants from the outbreak of fire. A proper, well-organized fire evacuation plan can save lives. In fact, school administrators have a legal obligation to create disaster response plans. They need the evacuation plan to be clear and efficient as possible. Some of the methods is to install carbon monoxide detector, smoke alarms, fire extinguisher, escape ladders, fire sprinkler systems, fire doors, and frames. Water storage is an important first safety equipment as well. Installing air vents and air circulatory system throughout the institute is also a primary way of having fire precautions. The next slide will be presented by Sarveshwaran.
Hi, my name is Sarveshwaran. You can call me Warren. So I'll be presenting the most successful life-saving preparations for a fire disaster. So as you can see, our topic is about the school. So I'm going to explain what teachers and students should do. Firstly, a teacher should make sure the fire alarm is put if there's seen a fire to notify the other teachers and students that there is a fire on about and they should get to the exit. Secondly, teachers must put the students' life ahead before theirs and make sure they exit first. Thirdly, they should always check their safety equipments around the school and make sure that all the safety alarm is heard by every exit and every classes. Next, students should find their fire buddy during a fire drill or any fire circumstances and must make sure that they exit together. If not, they should inform their teachers or the one that's in charge. Secondly, they should not bring any unnecessary items as that could cause fatality or some other problem. And lastly, the most important part is that they should not panic and exit calmly but quickly. As for conclusion, Alif will be presenting the conclusion. Alif, to you.
So now we have come to the end. Now, as we may know, fire safety awareness is important for everyone. All must be trained on how to react and prevent from this to happen. Prevention also vital to prevent fire incidents such as regular servicing and testing, risk assessment, fire drills, and what we need to do if this incident occurred. By having this knowledge, this will help to save properties and life. Last but not least, the teachers and students need to do successful life-saving preparation for a fire disaster, and the student no need to bring anything while evacuating. And if the student notice a fire, the student should immediately inform to a teacher. So that's it from us, and thank you.